what's up guys? Joker here. Today I want to show you an amazing gaming laptop for under $500 that probably isn't even marketed as a gaming laptop, with a story that's just as good as the performance that I was able to get out of the laptop itself. So let's take a look at this Asus gaming laptop for under $500 that was able to run every game that I threw at nearly 60 frames per second. So I wound up getting this laptop for $129. I was looking on Craigslist for yard sales or anything with computers, and this guy near me was doing a garage sale and he had some computer stuff listed there. Nothing really too much of interest to me, but he said he had this laptop that was broken that he had gotten over the holidays around Black Friday, refurbished from Best Buy. So I had a look at it. I saw that it had an i3 in it. After looking it up, I realized it had the i5 5500 Broadwell graphics on there, which, if you know from listening to me and Brian on Tech Gaming Weekly, the Broadwell integrated graphics are actually pretty damn good. So even with an i3 on a laptop, I figured at 720p this thing would probably have some decent horsepower on it, but I didn't expect it to give me anywhere near the performance that I got. And you can actually get these laptops under $500 and still get the performance I'm talking about here. This one, the exact one I have here, is running the i3 5010U. Now, that's an i3, and that's running at 2.1 gigahertz locked. It's got 4 threads, though. And that's a Best Buy exclusive, and that's the one that this guy had right here. It lists for $489. Or they have the i5 version, which is like $600. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because I went over to Amazon to look around, because I have affiliate links for Amazon, and it supports the channel when you guys use it. I'm sure you guys know that. I was trying to find something comparable, but I actually found something better at the same price. So at the same price as the i3 one here, or actually just a little bit less, they have that listed for $490. On Amazon for $480, you can get the i5 5200U version, which has 8 gigabytes of RAM versus the 6 gigabytes in the laptop that I got, for $480. The same screen, touch screen, all of that good stuff built right into there, and this one boosts. It goes from 2.2 to 2.7. So it's got the i5 that it's still a dual core. It's not a quad core. So I don't think it's a quad core i5. It's 2 cores, 4 threads, just like the i3. But this one boosts to 2.7, and you're getting 8 gigs of RAM versus 6 gigs of RAM. That's craziness. Alright, so why am I hyped up about this sub $500 laptop that any Joe Schmo could go down to Best Buy over the holidays and grab for under $500? Well, it really comes down to the processor. Like I said, it has the i5 5500 HD graphics. I'm going to link over to notebookcheck.net, which has a lot of good information about this graphics processor if you want to read up on it and how it interacts with all of the different CPUs that you can run along with it. So on the one that I'm running that has the i3 5010U, you can see that the GPU runs at a base of 300, but it boosts all the way up to 900. Now, depending on the CPU that you get paired with the 5500 graphics, it can go all the way up to 950 megahertz. So I'm right in the middle there at 900. It could be down as low as 850 on something like a lower i3, but so I'm right in the middle there at 900. On the i5 version that I showed you on Amazon, that's $480, still under $500. That also boosts to 900 megahertz. So I'm not seeing any bottleneck here as far as the GPU's frequency is concerned, but you still would be getting a faster processor at the end of the day with more memory on the i5 version. So if you're going to pick one of these up, if you're looking to get a laptop under $500 that can run some games like League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, CSGO, Rocket League, Half-Life 2, some older titles like that, you're not going to go out and run Witcher 3 max graphics, 60 FPS at 1080p, so don't think you're going to be able to do that. But if you want to play some decent games and your primary focus is maybe doing email and just having a really portable, lightweight laptop, 'cause this thing is light. Holy crap, is it light and portable? When you flip the top over, it goes automatically into a touchscreen mode. And yeah, it's a pretty damn good laptop. Let's take a look at the performance that I was getting on this thing. I was running mostly at low and medium graphics. And I ran VSync off for pretty much everything. And the reason I do that is so that when I am dropping below 60 FPS, so that I don't get a big stutter where it would basically half your frame rate, because that's what VSync does. That's essentially what VSync does, is it will half your frame rate if you dip below your monitor's native refresh rate. But even when I went over 60, which actually did happen on some games, like Heroes of the Storm was going over 100 FPS sometimes during the tutorials, I didn't have any issues with screen tearing. So I felt that the display handled that kind of stuff extremely well, so I was just able to keep VSync off, which gave me a buttery smooth experience. even when I was going a little bit below 60 frames, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And playing at 720p or 1366 by 768, which is the monitor's native resolution, both of them looked good. Even setting a custom resolution for Call of Duty World at War of 1152 by 648. Now that is a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, just like 720p or 768 or 1080p. It's just a lower step down from 720. So I created that custom resolution in case I ran into any problems running some games. And on games like Call of Duty World at War and Rocket League, which are a little bit more demanding DirectX 9 titles, I found that I did have to drop down the resolution to below 720p, but since it's only a 13-inch screen, I didn't really feel that that impacted my enjoyment of the game as much. And if you just really wanted to get on those games so that you could play with friends, or something like Rocket League especially, that's something you could play with your friends conceivably and have a pretty damn good time doing it. Counter-Strike Go is another one. League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, all multiplayer games that you could have a great time playing with your friends on this laptop for under $500. So student, parent, Father's Day gift coming up maybe. Awesome laptop that can pretty much do everything, and it's got Windows 10 on it, which is I had to disable a lot of the privacy stuff on Windows 10 that I don't personally like or agree with. But at the end of the day, the graphics performance was absolutely amazing. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Be sure to check out the links down in the description below if you want to see the i5 version, which is a little bit better than this, actually, on Amazon for around $480. Unfortunately, I don't think everyone's going to be able to get them for $130 like I did with my deal that I got from that guy on Craigslist. But yeah, if you can still get these for under $500, I think it's a really good pickup, honestly. And it's opened my eyes to, I think, lower spec gaming. And, now I want to do kind of like a lower tier desktop, I think, and see what it can actually do, because I found myself still having an amazing time playing these games. I play all the time on a monster of a rig that uses two $600 graphics cards. I've got a $1,300 monitor sitting in front of me, and I've got all of this stuff just, catering to my gaming needs, so that I am just part of the PC master race essence. And when it came down to it, if I just wanted to have a good time, I was fine on the laptop. It didn't matter. It didn't stop me from having an enjoyable experience. And if my end goal was to definitely play some of these multiplayer titles with my friends, then that's not going to matter at the end of the day, because what really matters there is the experience of playing with your friends. And when you're doing that, you're really not going to be worrying about the performance. And if you are, then I don't know, maybe you kind of have a sad life. All right, well, I'm sorry, but it runs really well, though. I could not believe how well it ran these games at 720, and even natively at 1366 by 768 on some of the titles, like CSGO, Half-Life 2, some of those games, you were able to crank it up. And if you don't really care about the solid 60 FPS and you're willing to drop down the frame rate a little bit, then you could probably turn up some of those graphics if you're willing to deal with a 30 FPS experience. Personally, I prefer the higher frame rate, so I opted to turn down graphics and resolution to try to get the smoothest experience possible, which is personally what I would advise to do. But yeah, really good laptop. Can't recommend it enough for under $500. This is not sponsored. Like, seriously, I got this laptop from a guy on Craigslist for $130. Like, it's insane. Anyway, I will catch you guys next time. Ta-ra.